How you doing, YouTube? Matt Master Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. A little bit of a Saison-y funkiness, barrel-aged, mind you, in the form of La Castor Brewing. It's their Saison Macaree. Probably butchering the pronunciation, because that's what I do. But, yeah, new brewery to me. I technically had one of their beers previous, that was yesterday, because this and the beer I did previous to this one, I'll probably go up at the same time. That was their New England style IPA. It came courtesy of Jacob. Jacob's the man. Sent me beers previously. We actually met up when I was on my honeymoon, had a good time. And the hazy was really, really, really good. So I'm kind of curious to see where this one lands, because you're talking about opposite ends of the spectrum. You're talking about wild, well, let's read it so you guys know what's going on. It's a blended wine barrel-aged wild Saison, fermented on rich organic wine pomace. I assume pomace is grape must. We'll see, courtesy of Naganis Nobla Bilio Geek. I don't know. It's French. What do you want? Yeah, it talks about tasty notes and all that kind of fun stuff, but to see a brewery kind of knock a hazy out of the park and then get a beer from the same brewery that does some wild stuff, kind of curious about it. So let's dive into it. Like I said, Jacob gave me this. Super good dude. Drop this off. I don't know. Stuff gets here from Canada way faster than it does in the United States. Let's put it that way. I was like, mailed it, and like 2 days later it was here. It's crazy. Label-wise, tight. I really dug the other one, the Hazy IPA. There's something simple about it, kind of basic. This one is, just, you know, a little bit more graphic. I still kind of like it, but it doesn't tickle my fancy as much as the other one. As far as that goes, I mean, there's no head whatsoever on that. There was ever so slightest bit of head to begin with, but outside of that, I mean, it looks like just kind of, you know, kind of hazy, kind of peach, kind of pear juiciness is what we're looking at right now. So, yeah, rich yellow in color, soft haze. Let's see if we can get a nose. I mean, she definitely smells like an acidic leaning, lowerish ABV wild Saison. 6.7%, so nothing that big. And here it has barley, wheat, grape pomace, hops, water, yeast, and everything says organic in here. So, yeah, she reminds me of something. I don't know what it is, brewery-wise. I think it's like kind of like one of your West Coast, kind of like a rare barrel-ish kind of golden sour is kind of what I'm getting off of this one. So you're getting that rich sour note with a nice not soft acidity, decent acidity, but nothing super sharp. A nice white wine kind of grapiness, a little bit of soft oakiness, a little bit of soft vanilla, done and done. So it's pretty much that yeasty, sour, acidic portion of the show jumping to a head without getting too over the top, too sharp, with a nice barrel characteristic underneath. Let's dive in. Cheers. Drinks nothing like I expected it to. Barely acidic. It's acidic, but it's barely there. It just gobs and gobs of that grape must, that pomace, kind of coming through. You're just getting this nice, sweet, kind of white, yellow grapiness out of it that definitely leans sweet, doesn't lean overly tart. Wow, this is kind of kooky based off of how the nose comes off. So touch, ever so slightest touch of acidity, just to let you know you're drinking something outside of a base beer. And there's a soft graininess, kind of wheat leaning, kind of graininess for me. There's a little bit of soft bitterness, a nice soft kind of oak tanniness, a very gentle dollop of vanilla. But it is really that grape that's really coming through. It is so rich, so rounded, so fatty. It's not sharp, it's not hard, it's not aggressive, it's not a 2x4 to the face. It's more all-encompassing. This is still beer, but it's partly sunny, partly cloudy. It's like, you know, 49% grape mustiness and then 51% beer. It's that kind of close of a call, but it's still beer. But it just leans so heavily in that grape juice kind of component, and with that trick it plays on the nose, letting you kind of assume there's going to be a big acidity portion of the show, but it doesn't just show up. And it's there because I can kind of feel some heartburn gurgling up inside, but it doesn't show like that. It just shows wood, it shows grape, and it shows wild beer in a very fucking cool way. I dig this. This is a really fun beer. Really fun beer, I'm going to be honest. On the nose, I was like, oh, here we go. Heartburn time. I still get that when I take a whiff. But when I take a sip, it is wine beer. Or I should say beer wine. What's that, barley wine, I guess? So it's beer first, but very close behind that white grape kind of vinous characteristic that comes off very sweet, not super earthy or sour or tart or anything like that, with a nice barrel characteristic with a soft oak and soft vanilla. This is really tasty stuff. I mean, you know, like I said, jumping in this, kind of run the gamut back and forth between these two beers and kind of be like some of the better haze that I've had as of late, and some of the better kind of wine barrel aged Saison I've had as of late. I'm going to tell you right now, the Castor, I'm a fan. I'm very much a fan. I dig this. What else do we have on here? Anything pertinent for you guys? I mean, they're out of Regard, Quebec. So, Quebec brewery. That's pretty much it, but really tasty stuff. This has a bit of time on it. It is actually just a hair over a year old, so there's a little bit of time on it. Here it has October 31st, 2018, so it's Halloween beer. This is like the 12th of November, 2019, so just about a year on it. Super tasty stuff, and honestly, some of the better beers that I've had in general, both ends of the spectrum from a Canadian brewery, quite some time. Really great stuff. Thank you very much, Jacob. So let's talk about it. Is this one of the better fruited Saison that I've had as of late? Barrel aged? Fruited barrel aged Saison? Let's go barrel aged Saison. Barrel aged Saison. Either one, yes. It might be Mount Rushmore status, not quite sure, but I'll have to go through a bunch of my reviews. But yeah, this is pretty good stuff. Value and availability, yeah, I don't know. Jacob, let me know what's what, or anybody out there in the old Canadas, and leave you with, if you like what we like this beer, if you like great musty, delicious Saisoniness, barrel-aged Saison, if you like well-made beer, if you like wild fermented beer, if you like tasty beers, if you like grape juice, if you like beer, you'll like this beer. There you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice little wine barrel aged jammer right now. And hope to see you next time. Cheers.